Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, February 8th, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a pretty critical day, and it's setting up the stage for a pretty critical day tomorrow with where we stand in the broader market and in crypto right now. Bulls are playing some defense. We'll go over the key setups that we're watching here, but essentially, bears are at least stirring, and they're getting our attention. So what I mean by that is you can see the NASDAQ here. Yesterday we had wild volatility in response to Powell speaking. And you can see that we had a bullish reaction and then we dumped and then we V-shaped bounce. And then this morning the bears took over. And so essentially what all that is shaping up is an hourly tightening range. Or really if we're on the futures, we want to be on the 4-hour chart. So I'm viewing this as the low of yesterday, the high of yesterday, and this is bulls right now attempting to hold a higher low and essentially form an equilibrium, because this is the way that this bounce has played out so far. So you can see on the NASDAQ, we're currently at the bounce high. It's not an impressive bounce, but we're just now getting the hourly bounce underway. So hourly bounce is now underway. We know there's a lot of space for an hourly lower high to be the result of this bounce. And it's just a question of, can the bears drive it home today, or do the bulls control the rest of the afternoon and just give us this tightening 4-hour range into tomorrow? We've got a daily inside bar. And if it remains a daily inside bar, again, that's going to set the stage for tomorrow being the key day. Because if the bears do win this little battle, it's going to confirm the first daily downtrend in over 5 weeks. And then we'll zoom out and we'll look for weekly consolidation to then be underway. And we'll be watching for a weekly high or low, of course, but that will be a notable shift from full bull control. The daily chart has had full bull control for about 5 weeks, and we're just now tightening up for the potential of that to shift. The opposite side would be if we form this 4-hour high or low, we bounce into the end of the day, we form the inside bar, and then the inside bar breaks bull. That would keep the higher lows going, and that would keep bulls in control. But the bears did get our attention today with the size of this morning drop and some pretty decent volume behind it. So now the question is, can the bulls follow through and put it back into anybody's game, so to speak, meaning either side could win this battle. The dollar is a triple bottom at 103 the last few days. If the broader market bulls and the crypto bulls are going to keep this control, they really want to see the dollar break 103 and start daily consolidation. Because 103 has held now 3 tests. If we look on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that base of support. So if you are a market or dollar bull, what you really want to see is this downtrend, this 4-hour lower high and lower low, showing dollar weakness. So that's just going to be one little clue, one little piece of the puzzle that we're watching. Bitcoin just saw a lot of morning weakness with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, but bulls played defense at support. You can see the hourly. We have 3 levels of key support right now. We've got 22.6 is now, we can call that a triple bottom. And then going back a bit, we've got the daily supports that I keep talking about, 22.3 and 22.5. So it's just a support zone at this point. And the bulls just played important defense, because if that support level were to have broken, that would have been a Bitcoin daily head and shoulders confirming. So that's now a key 22.6 support level that is a triple bottom. And we can essentially assume if 22.6 breaks, then 22.5 is likely to break because of stop losses, and then 22.3 is likely to break because of stop losses. So I would expect all of those to trigger if they break. But again, bulls, hourly oversold conditions, defending support. We are looking for an hourly lower high to be the most likely result of this current Bitcoin bounce, but it was a decent bounce, and there is space to potentially try to shape up a trend change back in favor of the bulls to defend this support level. And we're not going to have conviction that this support can hold until the bulls do confirm that hourly uptrend. Right now I'm watching the crypto stocks, Riot. It's the same thing where Riot is holding the daily uptrend in EMA 12, but there is risk of setting a daily lower high. We saw a big drop. We've seen a big bounce. I'm right now in a starter short position, small position because I'm live streaming. If I were not live streaming, I'd probably be adding to it right now just because we bull broke with no follow through. But I'm essentially looking for a 15-minute lower high compared to 704 and for a 15-minute equilibrium to shape up on Riot. And if that were going to happen, I would need to see Bitcoin set that hourly lower high here. And again, Bitcoin got the bull break with no follow through. So potentially a little 5-minute rising wedge to shape up the hourly lower high. So we'll keep an eye on how that shapes up through the live stream. Can't stay on too long. I'm going to be doing a live stream with YouTube channel Sin City Crypto here in about 50 minutes. So I'll stay on here for about another 15 or so, maybe 20. So Bitcoin's looking for an hourly lower high. Bulls must confirm the hourly trend change to successfully defend key daily support again. Dominance chart is still dropping, which shows us that the alts are holding on better than Bitcoin right now. We know the dominance chart is likely to form a weekly high or low, but the bulls, I should say the altcoin bulls, do have the stage at least over the last week of trading. And Ethereum, again, there's still all these bear patterns that we can draw. It's just that bear patterns haven't been confirming with any follow through over the last 5 weeks. But this is a rising wedge on the daily time frame. So knowing that we have not seen conviction from the bears doesn't mean we're going to ignore bearish patterns, but we're just going to take them with a grain of salt. So I can look at this and say, yeah, Ethereum is a potential daily rising wedge forming, but I can also just say, you know, as long as we hold 1605, bulls are fine. Breaking 1605 would lose the daily uptrend, and that would be the first indication of this pattern confirming. So we got the resistance zone right around 1700. And again, same thing here with the drop and the bounce, watching for an hourly equilibrium to shape up. And we also are still in a 4-hour uptrend, which is different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin lost 4-hour support. So that's just another example of how Ethereum is just a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. And you can see that on the ETH BTC chart, which is in a daily uptrend. And again, we've been watching the 2-week equilibrium on ETH BTC, and this can definitely tighten up for a while longer. And looking at anything under 7-8 as just a lower high. But for now, I like the 12-hour time frame for ETH BTC as our guide. As long as the 12-hour uptrend is intact, the bulls have full control. So Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin if the 12-hour uptrend is intact, is the way I'm viewing the market right now. Litecoin is up testing its recent high. It's a double top right now. Again, same thing. If we double top and break 94.60, 94.78, if we double top and break that level, it is a loss of the daily EMA 12 for the first time in weeks. It's a loss of the daily uptrend for the first time in over a month, and it would be very notable. But the bulls are still defending daily EMA 12. And again, solid hourly bounce. The question is, can the bulls shape up the hourly trend change back in their favor as a result of these current bounces? So we know we're scouting hourly lower highs in the short term here. And then it's just a question of, can we form the hourly higher lows and then the uptrend? We're not going to forget LTC BTC is looking for a weekly lower high on this equilibrium. So how would that happen? One of two ways. If a weekly lower high is going to be set, it means Bitcoin is surging up higher than Litecoin. And or it means crypto is dropping and Litecoin is dropping faster. So I'm open to the possibility that LTC BTC sets a weekly lower high when crypto starts weekly consolidation, because Litecoin would likely drop faster than Bitcoin on the way down, and that would lead to a weekly lower high in LTC BTC. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on as well here. And LTC BTC has the 12-hour uptrend, the 12-hour EMA 12. I would say the first indication of a weekly lower high being set would be losing the 12-hour uptrend. It's a potential rising wedge right now. So we'll see if that ends up playing out. We had Sand. Sand stood out yesterday with the Saudi Arabia news, big spike up to the high, but we did see a lot of profit taking in response to that. We gave back 50% of that move, over 50%. We are holding 4-hour EMA 12 and trying to get a bounce going. We can see 15-minute oversold conditions did not result in a notable bounce. Hourly, not close to oversold, but this is a 4-hour higher low attempt off EMA 12, and we will then look, because of the size of the retracement here, and again, we can just visually see the significant retracement, but if we want to be official, we can measure it and say, yep, we pulled back over 50%, so that means on a bounce, we scout a 4-hour equilibrium. So we will be watching for a 4-hour lower high on Sand to be the most likely result of the next bounce. And Sand BTC is doing something very similar, so no clues there. Looking at the rest of the list, Matic is definitely a lead bull with the daily higher high. And again, keep it simple. If the daily EMA 12 and if the daily higher lows remain intact, then the bulls have their complete control. And so right now, Matic can pull back 7-8% and still be in a daily uptrend. The 4-hour is losing some clarity here, and you can see just that drop this morning and then a V-shaped bounce as bulls are much more aggressively buying the dip in Matic than they are in other names. And so it's definitely getting a bit choppy back and forth, but the bulls are keeping their control on Matic and definitely a lead bull today. As far as weaker names, Sand again with that 4-hour pullback. Mana was a sympathy play with Sand, but didn't break its daily resistance, so it's pulling back notably as well. Look at the 12-hour for Mana. Well, it's not picture perfect clear, but essentially a high, low, lower high, and bulls are trying to hold 70 cents because if 70 cents were to break, it would be a 12-hour head and shoulders confirming. So notable that Mana was unable to break resistance while Sand was able to. Sushi just lost the daily uptrend. No follow through at this point, but we did drop to that lower low there. It's all about Bitcoin, as always. If Bitcoin breaks these bases of support, we're going to see crypto all drop into further weekly consolidation. If it holds this level, the bulls are going to stay confident. Essentially, the shift in confidence from bull control to a notable shift in the market environment for the first time in 5+ weeks would be breaking these supports. That's really all it boils down to if we want to make it as simple as possible. See if there's anything else that I wanted to make note of. We've got a nice tightening daily range on Link. So low, high, higher, low, potentially shaping up a lower high. We've been tightening up within this range now for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And we know that when this range breaks, we're going to be looking for some nice volatility to return to Link. Any clues in the BTC pairing? Bull break with no follow through, but definitely a weak bounce overall. Definitely not giving bulls confidence. When you see an equilibrium like that, you want to break and then break both levels as fast as possible to have the conviction for follow through. And so to break one level and then go right into potential consolidation, not ideal. Still a 4-hour uptrend. So not game over for the bulls, but they need to get over that second level. All right. What are you all looking at? Got another 10 minutes or so. Thanks, Andre. Not going to explain Backburner. I have a very in-depth video for that purpose. So Google TheChartGuys Backburner, and it's 30 minutes of full in-depth explanation. You got it, Facile. Hey, Christopher and Zen. AXS. So AXS is trying to stand out as a stronger name today as well. So we are setting a weekly, or trying to set a weekly higher low. And this is a potential bull flag. We know if Bitcoin starts weekly consolidation, it's not going to be a weekly bull flag. But if Bitcoin holds off on weekly consolidation and holds its base of support, it's possible that it's a weekly bull flag. So we just changed the daily trend back to the bulls. We had a higher low, lower high, higher low, equilibrium bear break. That's now a daily downtrend. Lower high, higher low, higher high. So we just confirmed a daily uptrend with an uptick in bull volume. And resistance now, there's still a zone of resistance here. Look at all these tops. This is a tough level. Let's zoom in. So bears are defending this resistance zone. And look how many times we've rejected from this resistance zone. A lot. So if we can't get over that level, it's not a weekly bull flag. If we get over that level, it's the first indication that that weekly bull flag is shaping up. So key resistance zone 1237 to 1247 that we just rejected from twice on today's bullish attempt here. And bears are going to keep top fishing that resistance zone as long as it keeps working. What do I think about Sol? What's Sol BTC doing? Is it stronger or weaker than Bitcoin? And it hasn't been a huge difference. Let's see, this is nice and tight here as well. Base of support. So I would say that if this base of support breaks, then obviously that's a bearish indication. And if bulls can hold the base of support and break this downtrending line, then that would be bullish. Sol USDT, another name that's trying for a weekly higher low. We just broke the inside bar bearish only by a couple pennies. And just like Bitcoin, it is trying to hold this base of support. So we've got 4 or 5 bottoms all within this range. And we're either going to confirm a daily bear flag and fall through those supports into clear weekly consolidation, or hold that support, and then we have to break the high of today to have conviction that we can hold that support. The hourly bounce is not as strong as Bitcoin and a lot of other names right now. So the bulls' backs are against the wall on Sol as far as the short-term setup on both pairings, and there is the possibility that both pairings fall through support. QQQ is watching for the potential of a 5-minute rising wedge. Bitcoin is a potential 5-minute head and shoulders. We'll check in on that. I don't love the support line here to be drawing on QQQ. I don't really have enough points. It's more of a channel. Worth watching that channel. Bitcoin, 5-minute potential head and shoulders negated. So again, we were watching that uptrend resistance line. Bull breaks are starting to lack follow through. That shows me bulls are a bit tired, but we do still have an uptrend. If we lose the 5-minute uptrend, again, the hourly lower high is set, and we then scout the hourly higher low. But a name like Sol just doesn't have as much space to work with. You can see the hourly lower high is already set on Sol before it is on Bitcoin, so that just shows us a little bit of relative weakness. Glad to hear Laurie's show was helpful, Luciano. I don't know if it's Luciano or Luciano. Luch. That sounds right. Luciano. Near and algo lead bulls, you say? So near, tight range breaking bull. Any name that's hitting a higher high, definitely standing out as stronger. Algo, definitely. UP is in a tight spot. Double top and a break of support. We just broke support. So I'm watching for OP to potentially pull APT. Remember when APT was the bull in town, and then it shifted to a lead bear. And we've had clear daily and weekly consolidation over the past couple weeks. I'm watching for OP to shift from a lead bull to a lead bear. And we would need to confirm an hourly. Well, we got the hourly oversold conditions. We'll see the response to hourly oversold. It's not a back burner because we already hit hourly oversold back here. but it is a rejection from daily resistance and a break of daily support. So keeping an eye on the shift, OPBTC, same thing. So it's not a convincing shift right now, but we're just getting the initial signs of caution. Did AXS. FIL. Got to be cautious of the head and shoulders, same as Bitcoin. So this is a potential left shoulder, the head. If we set the daily lower high and break 507, bears win in the short term. It's all about 507 support here. Hourly, weak bounce, certainly weaker than Bitcoin. Didn't even get an hourly bounce going, just an inside bar at the moment. And again, there's just so many names. It's SPY, QQQ, Bitcoin. Are we setting daily lower highs? We might not get that answer today, and it might be up until tomorrow. Tomorrow we got pre-market data at 8:30 a.m. Eastern that's going to have an impact. The more we bounce in QQQ from here, the more likely a daily inside bar is, and the more likely we're not going to get an answer to that question today. But it is still a potential hourly bear flag, so the bears are going to do everything they can to try and drive their point home with a new low of the day before close. But still a 5-minute uptrend on this bounce, or I should say a 15-minute little higher low and higher high on this bounce at the moment. Magic AI name. Magic's looking a little toppy. Bulls are tired. Anytime you see that bull break with no follow through right into consolidation, it shows you bulls are tiring. Daily key support is 169 to maintain the uptrend. But clearly seeing a shift. We confirmed a 12-hour downtrend. Well, no, I won't say that. Confirmed a 4-hour downtrend with a lower high and lower low. And now the bulls are attempting to defend daily support. On next bounce, anything under 216 is just another 4-hour lower high. And it's just yet another name. The whole crypto space is daily supports are in play. The bulls are doing their best to defend them. And if they defend them, the daily uptrends continue. But if we fall through these supports, weekly consolidation is underway. As far as back burners are concerned, we just hit first hourly over. No, I'm not calling it a back burner. Why am I not calling it a back burner? This was first hourly oversold. And we did hit a higher high, but just barely. That's not enough. If I'm going to call it a back burner, I need a clear, significant move with follow through since the last hourly oversold. So we may get an hourly oversold bounce, but I wouldn't call it by definition a back burner. Back burner is the first one, the first time it's been there in a while, because you got all the people with FOMO on the sidelines looking to buy that dip. Whereas if you just saw it yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, that uses up some of the buyers that are looking to buy a dip. OP, is it a good short? I'd be scouting a lower high. For the possibility that we do roll over, I would need to wait for an hourly lower high at a bare minimum and probably a 4-hour lower high if I wanted to be more comfortable. Depends on how the broader stock market ends today as to whether I would want to be aggressive for an hourly lower high or more patient for a 4-hour lower high. With hard work and experience, can anyone eventually trade like me? I won't say anyone. I will say that if you put in the dedication of thousands of hours, and if you have discipline, and if you're constantly striving towards personal growth, then yes, the majority of people can. The problem is, it's the same question. My analogy is, if anybody could trade, if you could use technical analysis to trade profitably, everyone would do it. And that's like saying, if you could get a six-pack from working out, then everyone would do it. That's just not the case, because it takes a ton of time and dedication and discipline, and you have to base your life around it. You have to make life decisions every single day that are geared towards having a six-pack. And the vast majority of people don't, because it's extremely difficult. And trading's the same thing. Yes, with all those things, you can be a successful trader if you put in the time and the effort and the dedication and you shape your life around it. But if you don't, you can't. So it requires a significant amount of dedication that most people are not willing to devote. And we do need a minimum of 100 likes. We've got 78. Please thumb them up. It's wild the difference that asking makes, but it's a little reminder. Click the button, please. If our candles don't match, it's because you don't have extended hours on or you don't have data. You have to pay for data. You have to pay for NYSE, NASDAQ data. It's like $3 or something on TradingView, and that's a factor as well. All right, last one, FET/USD, then I got to run. Daily, still strong, but cautious of a temporary top. There's a whole lot of volume. Bull break with zero follow through, loss of the 4-hour uptrend. Heading towards first hourly oversold conditions. I'd be watching for a 4-hour lower high to be the result of the next bounce. Anything under 608. Go back and look at AI and how these AI stocks just topped out a couple days ago. I missed my second entry on Riot. This is how we topped out. Big volume, bearish candle, daily consolidation. Struggling a bit today with the broader market weakness. So you go back. I'm assuming FET is AI related. And again, you look at the volume. Today's going to be the highest daily volume in months. And is this a volume climax candle that's about to start daily consolidation? That's entirely possible. The bears need to confirm a 4-hour downtrend. We lost the 4-hour uptrend. Now you've got to confirm the 4-hour downtrend for the bears to prove that they're taking over a bit here. One more check-in on the short term. Bitcoin still trying to shape up that hourly lower high. QQQ. A little bit of short-term weakness, keeping a potential hourly bear flag in play. Riot still with some relative strength. 15-minute consolidation finally underway, but a lot of space for a 15-minute higher low. Brick wall at 684. Not going to be too aggressive on Riot as a bear just because it is showing relative strength today. But if QQQ confirms an hourly bear flag, Riot is definitely going to head back down towards the lows. All right, I got to get out of here. Check out Sin City Crypto. I'll be on there in 30 minutes. And appreciate you all tuning in. 102 likes, mission success.